Ladies and gentlemen, let's go on to the stage now, please.
Julius, walk into the corner.
That is pretty legendary for... Here, let's listen to this first.
Red velvet, 97-93, Katie Taylor. Scores this bout 96-93. The winner by split decision. And still.
I think Katie Taylor won. By the skin of her nuts, but I think she won. The early rounds on my card, you know, 5-1. It could be. Now, of course, that 6th round. No, excuse me, 4 rounds to 1. Now that 5th round, she was getting her fucking shit beat up, like bad. Now, I'm equal opportunity here. I'm all for gender equality. So if they're fighting like men and they want equality, I'm going to talk about them like they're, you know, in this case, men. Or they're fighters. So listen, she was getting her ass beat for a nice little minute, but male or female, fighters don't recover like she did and take over the last quarter of the fight. Now, she did almost get dropped in that last round. If that knee would have touched, that would have, you know, but it didn't. Now, I understand, you know, people, you know, here's the thing. I like to consider myself a free thinker, a critical thinker. And I understand that we all have differing opinions. I'm not the type of person that's going to say, nah, you're wrong because you don't agree with me. That's just not how life works. That's a character flaw, people who do that. So you are entitled to your opinion. I have to take this phone call. I'll be right back.
You blocked it with your head. You blocked it with your...
One of the best fights I've ever seen. We said it was the biggest female fight of all time. I said it was one of the biggest fights of all time, but it was one of the best fights of all time in the Mecca of boxing, Madison Square Garden. Let's go, as Jake would say, let's go.
Yeah.
She started taking him.
One every round to go straight.
Well, you came back in the 6th and 7th.
Yeah.
So he's the one for.
Never seen Katie soak it up so much. I ring
See you.
Thank you so much. Have you got a fight coming up?
July 6th. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. Who cares? That was so amazing.
Oh, thank you.
No, I'm so excited.
I'm so sore right now.
I get it. It's so worth it though. I don't want to bother you for pictures, so it's fine. Like, you know, it's
Tough fight. That's unbelievable. You got a bigger round of applause than me.
Two of the greatest ever. Nothing.
So proud.
My bad. That was a important call. But listen, as I was saying, you know, we're not always going to agree, but I do think that Katie Taylor did just enough to win. However, there are some concerns because, you know, women, they want to be viewed in the same. Okay, for example, in mixed martial arts, the women fight the same rounds and minutes as men. You know, championship fights, 5 rounds, five 5-minute rounds. You know, 3-minute rounds. I mean, 3 5-minute rounds if it's just a regular, you know, fight. But in boxing, this 2 minutes, yes, it's. Here's the thing. I understand what Eddie Hearn was saying. In fact, let me pull up this press conference and let them explain it to you. Because the problem I have is, I think it's Katie's team. They're like, listen, you know, you've had issues with slowing down later on in fights. Even though this fight she didn't. But if this was 3-minute rounds, let's be honest, high probability, and she's a warrior, but high probability she was going to get her ass knocked out. You know, high probability. Because in that round 5, she was pretty much almost done, like, you know. But you can imagine that now, and you know how boxing politics work, that now Eddie Hearn, her trainers, her team, they're going to be like, you know, listen, no 3-minute rounds. You're the A side, just this time. Don't get in the corner like you did in the first fight. Move around and she can't beat you. You see what I'm saying? Now, of course, Jake Paul and Amanda Serrano are going to push for 3-minute rounds. But at the end of the day, Katie Taylor is the A side, and she is the one who calls the shots. So welcome to the show. Let's go listen to this question from Eddie Hearn. Hold on. Let me find this. Clip. Here we are. Listen to this.
I think is help.
You know, it's like, I don't know if now's the time to decide how long the fight should be. We just had 20.
Absolutely, it's going to inspire a lot of young girls after that fight.
Casey,
Okay, thanks.
Casey, a magnificent performance, and it was actually Casey over here, and actually genuinely moving to watch you and Amanda. It was fantastic.
Thank you.
But easy for us to say on the outside, but it went so quickly, and I felt like 2-minute rounds just don't do justice to fighters of your magnitude. Do you feel the time is now to move up to 3-minute rounds?
Yeah, I mean, I don't actually know what the right answer to that is.
I mean, there's pros and cons to either time. You know, it's like, I don't know if now's the time to decide how long the fight should be. We just had 20 minutes of grueling war there. I mean,
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, the one thing that I think is helped women's boxing is the fast-paced nature of the fight. And I don't think you'd get that same fast pace. I do think you may see more stoppages, but I don't think you see the same intensity over the 3 minutes. So I've always felt that while we're introducing the audience to women's boxing over 2 minutes, it's fast-paced, it's exciting, it's working. And when you watch that fight tonight, yeah, would it have been better over 3 minutes? Maybe, maybe not. But I don't know, it's a tough call. I do think eventually at some point, I don't think all women's boxing should be over 3-minute rounds. But, you know, tonight you saw a fantastic product, and it was a 2-minute round product. But I always think we should always look at trying to evolve in some way.
Now, that doesn't sound like a team that wants 3-minute rounds. And you can imagine, knowing Eddie Hearn and what you know about him, if 3-minute rounds benefited him and Katie Taylor, they would vouch for it. And it's clear to me that they just, you know, from Katie Taylor's comments at the sit-down face-to-face with Amanda she had before the fight, with Ariel Hawani moderating, she was like, well, basically, you know, this is not an exact quote, but I'm going to, you know, pretty much paraphrase that, you know, for her to fight 3-minute rounds, she wants 3-minute round money. But at the same time, Amanda Serrano called her bluff and was like, well, you know, this is supposed to be the biggest purse for women's, you know, in all of women's boxing history. So it was like, what is Katie gauging that off of? It's like, y'all already, I don't know, you know, but it just seems to me, it's all sound fishy. She don't want 3-minute rounds. Now, here's the thing. Ireland is where they're targeting for the rematch to happen. It seems like a real possibility. And Katie Taylor has already proven that she can be a global superstar. They sold 19,000 plus tickets. And the atmosphere, my colleague Donnell was there. He was at the post-fight press conference. He told me that, you know, the broadcast doesn't do it justice. Like, they were loud in there, like loud. You know, and for her to be able to, not just her, but also Amanda Serrano, but it's safe to say, you know, it was a huge Irish support in that crowd. You know, if I was to guess just off the top of my head, maybe 60-40, 70-30 Irish. And of course, my people, we always turn up. You know, I'm, you know, half black, half Irish, and half Mexican. You know, and I've been getting a lot of shit from people. But anyway, moving on. That's some big time shit to be able to pull that off, you know, in New York. 2 women headlining. Crazy. So now they're trying to take it over to Ireland, and you're hearing this number from 50,000 can be into attendance. They're gonna try to put 90,000. I don't know anything about the arenas in Ireland. You know, and people always getting on me talking about some, you know, she's not British. Okay, I've learned she is Northern Irish, right? Okay. You know, I'm learning. I'm doing like a lot of research. I'm supposed to know this stuff. I understand. You know, the South and the North, they beef. Like they it's bad blood. All right. So forgive me for my unwillful ignorance. But anyway, yeah, we're about to head over to the grand arrivals. In fact, I can have this on the screen right now. This is why I got all this tech for. So how you guys doing though? You guys all right? Look, my chat's always messed up on this screen. I gotta fix it. That big ass space over there is supposed to be the chat, and something keeps happening to it. But yeah, man, both women, whoever wins, has some big fights for them, because of course Amanda Serrano can jump up between, you know, she's a 7th division world champion, 115 all the way up to 114. That's 115, 118, 122, 126, 130, 135, you know, and 140. So hold on, let me open this up. Oh wait, we got Canelo.
Como siempre, dar lo mejor de mí,
Hold on, Canelo's here.
entregar todo arriba del cuadrilátero y obviamente un triunfo para la historia de México.
¿Listo para inglés? Alrighty. So you're back here on the big stage in Las Vegas for Cinco de Mayo. How does that make you feel?
No, I feel good. I feel really happy to be here in Vegas again, and I'm really excited.
It's a tradition. Cinco de Mayo. Is that motivation or pressure?
Both. Motivation, no pressure. I like what I do, so motivation.
You know Canelo mean business when he got that shit on his lip. That's when you know he's here to bring the pain.
And he's taller and he's bigger and everything you want to think of. Why do you always take these challenges?
Because I like that kind of challenge. That's make me feel alive. So, and I'm ready.
My man having a flare up, all this itching.
Too, so ready.
What are y'all scratching and shit for?
Y'all need more tacos. Necesitan más tacos. Un poquito.
Are they yelling tacos at him?
Oh,
Stick
I'm
tacos?
gonna bring all my best, all the best, because he's a really good fighter. So I need to bring all my best, and I will do it.
There you go. Thank you very much. And I'll be seeing you the rest of the week. Today, we officially start the celebration of Cinco de Mayo.
That's my girl, the Silver Fox, Claudia Trejos.
No, just enjoy a great week. Of course, Cinco de Mayo, and enjoy a great fight. You've got the pound-for-pound king of boxing. The world light heavyweight.
Why does Taylor Serrano seem bigger than Canelo fight?
The greatest fighter of his generation against an excellent undefeated world champion. We're going to have a great fight in Las Vegas and a great party this weekend.
I agree. And if you want to tune in, don't forget, just follow DAZN. May 7th, only on DAZN Live. So if you're wondering how to check in and how to get on
those sparse-ass claps.
Right now.
Why does it feel like this is just no buzz?
Gracias.
Oh wait, hold on. Let's go back and rewind it back. Let's go back to the beginning. All right, Canelo's here. Why does this don't seem a little dead to you? I don't know. It seems docile. That's the best way I can say it. It's my shit. That's my jam. Yeah, probably, right? Probably, because I'm not there. But I don't know. But don't it feel like... I don't know. Canelo! My bad. Bivol ain't no random fighter. Bivol is his toughest challenge since Floyd to me, in my opinion.
El campeón de la AMB, Demetrius Andrade. Saúl Álvarez de la mano de Reynoso entrando al MGM Grand. Saúl Canelo Álvarez.
Canelo.
Doing his grand entrance. the MGM Grand.
I wonder if Bivol had already showed up. Let me see.
This place is home. Literalmente puede llamar esta su casa. Canelo Alvarez continuing his tradition.
All right, we're gonna watch Bivol after.
5 de mayo with a great night of boxing. Saúl Canelo Alvarez continuando la tradición de celebrar el 5 de
But yeah, $79.99 if you don't have a DAZN subscription. But something's telling me in my gut this fight's gonna be streamed to smithereens. How many pay-per-view buys do you think this is gonna do? I'm gonna say 350, but we'll never know because DAZN won't release it. You know, and they never had a pay-per-view, so I'm sure they're not gonna release that shit. But what if Canelo get knocked the fuck out though? I don't think Bivol can do it, but I think Bivol has the ability to outbox him 8 rounds to 4 type shit. Only problem is Bivol is pretty much primarily a jabber. You know, one thing I said about covering him in the past is he just don't seem to like go that extra gear. And you know, you don't want to just try to coast with Canelo. You see what I'm saying? You got to make him respect you. Canelo. And I just wonder if Bivol, even though he is a natural 175 pounder, 500,000 pay-per-view buys, get out of town. I think like 350. Like 300, 350. But yeah, I'm going to be here on Saturday night, of course, covering the fight.
Demetrius Bivol, WBA light heavyweight champion of the world.
I was pissed because I got shadow banned on YouTube the week of Canelo versus Plant. They wanted to teach me a lesson. I couldn't stream or upload like any like videos more than 10 minutes or something, like 15 minutes. I was pissed because of a Pizzagate video of all, like crazy. And that shit was 2 years ago. YouTube do not like when you talk about chomos.
See, I speak German too. I mean Russian too. Hasta ruso me tocó aprender.
And deviants like Oscar De La Hoya. They don't like when you talk about them.
A ver, primero en español. Mira toda la gente, estás de regreso en Las Vegas para celebrar el 5 de mayo. ¿Qué se siente?
No, la verdad que me siento muy contento, como siempre, siempre me reciben muy bonito.
UFC's this weekend?
Estábamos contando ayer las veces que he venido a pelear a Las Vegas, son 15 ya.
Lord, look at that Claudio Trejos.
16, la verdad estoy muy contento de estar aquí, gracias a todos por su apoyo, como siempre.
¿Cómo funciona esto celebrando el 5 de mayo? ¿Motivación o un poquito de reto?
No, es motivación y reto para mí. La verdad que esto para mí es parte de mi vida ya y lo tomo así. Es una motivación de seguir haciendo historia. Amo el boxeo, amo lo que hago y eso es lo que me genera las ganas de seguir haciendo historia.
¿Por qué siempre buscando esos retos tan difíciles?
Porque es lo que me mantiene vivo. Me gusta la adrenalina, me gusta ser competitivo.
¿Qué podemos esperar el 7 de mayo?
No, lo mejor de mí, como siempre, dar lo mejor de mí. Entregar todo arriba del cuadrilátero y obviamente un triunfo para la historia de México.
¿Listo para inglés? Alrighty. So you're back here on the big stage in Las Vegas for 5 de mayo. How does that make you feel?
No, I feel good. I feel really happy to be here in Vegas again. And I'm really excited.
It's a tradition. 5 de mayo. Is that motivation or pressure?
Both. Watch your mouth, Mario.
Both. Motivation. No pressure. I like what I do, so motivation.
Let's talk about this challenge. This is the best 175 pounder, and he's a champion, and he's taller and he's bigger and everything you want to think of. Why do you always take these challenges?
Because I like that kind of challenge. That's make me feel alive. So, and I'm ready. I'm strong too. I have a lot of skill too, so I'm ready.
I'm ready too.
Y'all need more tacos. Necesitan más tacos. Un poquito.
The steak tacos.
What can we expect May 7th?
Carne asada.
I'm gonna bring all my best, all the best, because he's a really good fighter. So I need to bring all my best, and I will do it.
There you go. Thank you very much, and I'll be seeing you the rest of the week. Today we officially start the celebration of 5 de mayo. Yes. Hey, look, Eddie. Do you have anything to add, Eddie? Because I know there's always something to add.
No, just enjoy a great
We're going to listen to Bivol next.
And enjoy a great fight. You've got the pound-for-pound king of boxing, the world light heavyweight champion. This man continues to take challenge after challenge after challenge. The greatest fighter of his generation against an excellent undefeated world champion. We're going to have a great fight in Las Vegas and a great party this weekend.
I agree. And if you want to tune in, don't forget, just follow DAZN, May 7th, only on DAZN Live. So if you're wondering how to check in and how to get on board, follow this right now.
DAZN. Let's go check out Bivol. See him show up. Yeah, the undercard's not really that great. Oh no, we gotta mute that. Yeah, I'm not really feeling the undercard of Canelo Bivol, especially since we lost Filip Hrgovic versus CCP Zhang Zili. Let me see if they got this music on. You got Montana Love on that joint. Yo, is it me? I don't want to sound like this, and I know the kid's probably heard it his whole life, but doesn't Mark Castro kind of look like a ventriloquist doll? Like one of them old-ass, old-timey, scary dolls? Maybe I'm just high. Who knows? Who knows these days? Like, look, let me show you. Like, maybe it's the teeth. Maybe it's the teeth. That's probably what it is.
No hay problema. We'll translate. So I'm going to ask the question in Spanish, then in English, and then I'll translate. Is that good for you? Okay. Listo. Las Vegas. Mira toda la gente que te espera. ¿Qué se siente? Las Vegas. Look at all these people waiting for you. How does that feel?
Great. I feel great. I'm looking forward to the Saturday night, and I'm glad to be here.
Se siente muy bien, no puede esperar para el sábado y se siente muy agradecido de estar acá.
Montana Love got a story? Where at?
Canelo reconocido como el arrancatítulos. ¿Qué significa eso para ti? You know, Canelo's known as the title snatcher. How do you feel about that? Like the title snatcher. He takes titles away from people.
I'm watching the shit out of that UFC event.
You know, I don't think like that. I'm just thinking about my skills, about his skills. Canelo! Yeah. Yeah. And I respect people that support him, and I understand that it's fine. But I believe in my skills, and I believe in my victory. This is why I'm here.
Él no piensa en eso, él piensa en sus habilidades y las habilidades de Canelo, respeta la opinión de todo el mundo, sabe que es un gran boxeador, pero por eso él está aquí para demostrar sus habilidades. ¿Qué podemos esperar el sábado? ¿Cómo ves esta pelea?
I'm going to look into it because it's the only fight I'm really interested in on the undercard. And so far I've covered this last, what,
First of all,
2 fights?
I expect a great fight.
I'll find it.
I said, and again, I believe in my victory, and I'll try to do all my best to keep my belt and to make people happy to see this fight.
Fantastic. Él está confiado de que tiene todo lo necesario, va a ser una excelente pelea, pero por eso él está preparado al 100 y está listo para defender su título.
You need to chill out, puppy. That's the most seductive woman in broadcast boxing.
Muchas gracias.
See, I told you spoke Spanish. Yes.
I'm gonna have a talk with HR about you.
Bivol, 19-0, 11 knockouts. The reigning WBA light heavyweight champion of the world. Thank you very much. And I think you got some people that want to speak with you. You can go ahead.
As a matter of fact, you know what? You done ruffled my feathers, pal. I'm putting you on a 300-second timeout. You done ruffled my feathers.
Joel Diaz, people, real quick.
You done ruffled my feathers.
Being back in the big stage.
Well, it's an honor being here. You know, basically, I mean, it's everything. Facing Canelo, you know, I'm part of Team Bivol. You know, Canelo is also. I'm a big fan of Canelo as well. He is where he is because he's a great fighter. But you know, we're here to work. Demetrius Bivol used my camp. He's with his team. I'm just part of the team, but he has his team, his trainer, and I'm just, glad that I was invited to be part of it.
Ahora en español. Estás de regreso en Las Vegas. ¿Qué se siente enfrentando a Canelo?
Pues estoy muy orgulloso de estar aquí, ser parte del evento, ¿no? Soy parte del equipo de Bivol, no lo entré, no estoy con su equipo, me lo incluyeron, estoy contento de ser parte del equipo, venimos a trabajar. Sé que Canelo es un gran peleador y soy un gran fanático de Canelo igual, pero estamos aquí para trabajar y darles a la gente una buena
Vamos,
pelea, ¿no?
Santillo.
Mil gracias, Joel.
Vamos, Vato.
Nos vemos durante la semana. Que viva 5 de mayo. Ahua! Hello! And of course, there's a lot of on-demand content, you know, leading up to the big night, May 7th. Only at the DAZN, La Casa de Canelo, Canelo's home.
Let's see what Eddie
Weekends in a
has to
row.
say.
How does that feel?
Amazing. I mean, look, last Saturday at Madison Square Garden was incredible. You know, we saw a fight we'll remember for a long time. And I actually believe we'll see a fight we'll remember for a long time here this Saturday as well, because, you know, we know Canelo Alvarez, the pound-for-pound #1, but Demetrius Bivol, cool as a cucumber. You know, undefeated, never really been in any trouble in a fight. It's how many levels can Demetrius Bivol go to this Saturday against the face of boxing, Canelo Alvarez. It's going to be an incredible fight.
Eddie Hearn, the head of Matchroom Boxing, la cabeza de Matchroom Boxing, the promotional company that doesn't seem to sleep. Please explain to me, how do you maintain the energy and how do you actually get all these people at the
Team
table
Canelo.
and agree with you? ¿Cómo haces para traer a toda esta gente a la mesa y que estén de acuerdo contigo?
It's just a love for the game. It's a passion for the game. Boxing, for me, is the greatest sport of all, and Canelo Alvarez is the greatest fighter of our generation. So to work with him, to be involved in events like this is incredible. To be here on Cinco de Mayo weekend is a dream come true. You know, last Cinco de Mayo we were at Dallas Cowboys with
I hate that stupid
75,000
fucking
people
lion.
for the Billy Joe Saunders fight. It was
I'm
one of
still
the
bitter I
greatest
got kicked out the
nights
MGM Grand.
of my career, you know, of boxing.
Escorted
And
out by
this Saturday,
security.
Again, the same.
Bastards.
This guy, Canelo Alvarez, is incredible. He's champion after champion after
I ain't do
champion after
nothing.
champion. 160, 168, 175, no problem. I've never met a more fearless individual. He's so calm, but again, so is Demetrius Bivol. You know, if you check Demetrius Bivol's pulse right now, you might not feel anything. So he's ice cold going into this fight. He may be the best 175-pounder in the world, and this is a very difficult fight for Canelo Alvarez, but, you know, you'll see him in a few minutes, and, you know, he's the man. He's the man. He's the man to beat in boxing. He's the face of boxing. He's the pound-for-pound king, and he's a generational fighter.
Él llega a poner a todo
All
el mundo
right,
en la
let's
mesa porque
talk.
tiene el amor por el
We're gonna talk
deporte
about
y
some deep
obviamente
shit
gran
here.
respeto por todas las personas que hacen que estas peleas se lleven a cabo. Es una gran oportunidad para la compañía para estar aquí el 5 de mayo. Es un sueño hecho realidad. Eddie, siempre un placer tenerte. It's always such a pleasure to have you.
Thank you, and thanks to everyone for turning out today. Let's have a great...
Let's talk. This boxing scene article was released. Worked with him a few times. One of the most credible boxing journalists there is right now, and whose all of information I rely upon. Key fighter of boxing scene. Here's the thing. You know, people feel different ways about Canelo versus Bivol. Some people like it, some people don't. Regarding the fact that a lot of people wanted Charlo or Benavidez because they're more well-known names in the boxing community. To where Demetrius Bivol is a legitimate 175-pound champion. And I think it's clear that Canelo wants to unify and become undisputed in two divisions simultaneously. And with the way timing is, Canelo won't have a mandatory at 168 pounds until sometime, probably not until next year. And no organization is not going to stop the biggest cash cow in boxing from becoming undisputed in both divisions. Because remember, he's paying for all these belts. So here is, I'm going to read some of this article here. I'm going to read some of this article here. Came out today, a few hours ago, a couple hours ago. Let's see here. What hasn't been revealed until now is that the exact offer from Al Haymon's premier boxing champions at Showtime that Alvarez turned down to accept the DAZN's deal included the option of pay-per-view fight against Errol Spence and Jermell Charlo. PBC offered Canelo, 45 million guaranteed to fight Charlo this Saturday night. It would have been. If he would have beat Charlo, then 55 million guarantee offer to fight Spence at a catch weight of 164 or David Benavidez at the 168-pound limit. Now, first of all, Canelo's not going back down to below 168 pounds. He's not going, I don't think he's ever going below that ever again. And if he was to fight Golovkin in September, like it's being said it's going to happen, Golovkin is going to have to move up to whatever Canelo tells him to move up to. It'll likely be 168 pounds. But Spence versus Canelo at 164, I mean, of course it's appealing to me. You know, but I think that probably turned Canelo off, like that whole 164. It's like, wait, you see I'm fighting at 168 and 175, and you trying to get me down to 4 pounds? You see what I'm saying? And that's a fight, you know, that Canelo and Spence have both been interested in for some time. But I think that ship has sailed unless Spence goes all the way up to 168 or 175. I don't think we're ever going to see that fight unless, you know, it's at that higher weight. But 164, I don't think so. Now, from my understanding, does anybody know what Canelo's supposed to be making for Bivol? Isn't it supposed to be like a 3-fight deal worth $160 million? Somebody pointed out in the video I did earlier. And also, let's be honest, Canelo seems to really like working with Eddie Hearn. You know, and a lot of fans, you know, or naysayers of Canelo can't really get past that. They can't really get past it. It's like, yo, okay, the money's there on the PBC side, but at the same time, like, put it this way, Canelo is the A side over at PBC, but realistically, he's not the A side. PBC is the A side. The PBC fighters may be making the least amount of money, but Al Heyman is giving Canelo this money, hoping that his guys can beat Canelo. That's just the way it looks to me. You know? So even though he may be the financial A side, he's not really the A side over there, you know? But over on Eddie Hearn's always rolling out the red carpet for him. Now, as far as this fight this weekend, I don't know how well this fight's going to do. Yes, Canelo has his own dedicated fan base. Yes, he does. But this is still the zone. However, you can buy this fight through your cable broadcaster. For example, I purchased it through Verizon Fios for $74. Here, let me see if I can pull up the tweet for you. By the way, follow me on Twitter at T Street Controversy, 5U360. I put the link to my Twitter in the chat. Not like you guys follow me anyway. But anyway, so $79.99 if you don't have the zone. Here's how I purchased it yesterday. Because I got it through Verizon Fios. So $79.99 if you purchase through the zone. I mean, $7.99 if you purchase through your cable. And $59.99 if you purchase through the zone. And you have to have the zone subscription, of course. A lot of people are upset with the zone because the zone, you know, pretty much lied to us and said it wasn't going to be no more pay-per-view. And now look, more pay-per-view. More pay-per-view. And I understand, you know, Canelo and all of that. It's like, well, you know, he's, you know, an attraction. But that is a lot of money to turn down. $55 million, you know, to fight Spencer at 164. Whew. You know, but he Canelo. You know that's the cost to be the boss. You know, you can turn down that type of money. But talking about Demetrius Bivol, though, I think that Canelo could lose this fight, if we're really being honest here. Canelo, 57, 1-2, 39 KOs. Caleb Plant. Billy, by the way, I'm going to say it again. I never rated Caleb Plant very highly. Yeah, buy all the boxing pay-per-views. Caleb Plant, I never really rated him highly. Billy Joe Saunders, okay, man, but Billy Joe Saunders hasn't really been shit at 167. Avni Yildirim, that was a mandatory but ill. Callum Smith was a highly credible fight. Sergey Kovalev was coming off of the Anthony Yard fight. And also, you know, that vodka in the belly, and he had that open case, but nonetheless, still, you can say nice quality, solid win. We can't act like Canelo wasn't getting outboxed earlier, you know, in the fight. Even look at the cards, it was a close fight. Danny Jacobs was a solid fight. Very competitive. Danny Jacobs went on and lose to John Ryder, blew his chance at another shot at Canelo. Rocky Fielding, that was Canelo testing the waters at 168. And look, stopped Rocky Fielding via body shots in round number 4. Had him bend the knee, round number 3, excuse me. The 2 Golovkin fights, me personally, I have it 1-1. Golovkin won the first fight. Canelo clearly, in my opinion, won the second. Remember, you're allowed to have your opinions, all right? And I understand people going to say, oh, you're a little biased because you're Mexican. But no, that's not the case. Chavez Jr., that was at super Canelo weight, 164.5. And Chavez Jr. just showed up for a check. You know, he just was making weight. Liam Smith, Canelo was butt naked on the scale. You know, this is around the time between these are the fights where both Cotto and Canelo were ducking Golovkin. This fight Cotto, this fight Khan, this fight Liam Smith, this fight Chavez Jr. This was all, listen, there's no way around it. Canelo did not want, you know, to fight Golovkin. And when you look at it, remember, it was so bad that he went back down to 154 and had to get butt naked on the scale to make 154 to fight Liam Smith, just to not fight Golovkin. And then they were saying in the media he was too small, his body wasn't at 160 yet, but then fought Chavez Jr. at basically super middleweight, super Canelo weight. Like, bro. But overall, still phenomenal resume. And my personal opinion, Demetrius Bivol is the most skilled boxer that's like, you know, like in his prime, no physical or mental outside the ring handicaps that he's fought since Erislandy Lara. Number 2 would be Callum Smith. Number 3 would be Danny Jacobs, all my opinion. Well, Golovkin. When I took Golovkin out of it. I'm talking about like a boxer. But obviously Golovkin is number 1. But you see what I'm saying. And then, you know, the Rocky Fielding, that was a gimme fight. Okay, Sergey Kovalev, yeah. Avni Yildirim, yeah. Caleb Plant. I don't think that Caleb Plant should, you know, listen. They did a hell of a marketing move with Caleb Plant. You see what I'm saying? You know, to get him to where he's at. Because look at his resume, and I did a video on it earlier. Look at his resume, all smoke and mirrors. Because his resume is all dependent on if you looked at Jose Uzcategui as being a boogeyman. I never looked at him as being a boogeyman. But Subway Mike Lee, spitting in the ring. Subway Mike Lee, ill. Vincent Fegan Boots. Caleb Truax, nah. But now, you know, this guy right here, the problem I have with Bivol, 19-0 with 11 KOs, is just you just be wanting him to step on the gas sometimes in his fights. It's like, bro, like Umar Salamov, I covered that fight. He could have got rid of him, and he just didn't do it. Craig Richards could have got rid of him, didn't do it. Lennon Castillo could have got rid of him. Joe Smith, Jean Pascal, these are guys he could have got rid of, and he don't have that extra gear. Like, he don't step on it. So I'm wondering, will that benefit him with Canelo? You know, like him just coasting with the jab, playing keep away, you know, or does he have something to really keep Canelo off from him? He's got to sit on his punches. He got to make Canelo, you know, respect him, because Canelo's going to keep coming all night. And we did see Joe Smith rock the hell out of, let me see if I can pull up that clip of Bivol once had him questioning his whole existence. Bivol Smith Jr. By the way, take your time out. Like the video, subscribe. We're going to be here for the final press conference, which is going to be on Thursday at 4 p.m. The weigh-ins on Friday at 4 p.m. We're going to be streaming them both. I'm trying to find that clip of when Joe Smith rocked Bivol. Had him questioning his whole existence. Oh, here we are. I found it. Let's go check it out. I gotta play it slow though. What's this? Look. Look, nice dance moves right there, Bivol. Let's see if we can get a replay.
I thought this round was over, Sergio. I guess Demetrius Bivol thought that too.
Now remember, Joe Smith is a taller fighter, so can Canelo land that same shot?
It's never over. You always have to be leery.
And also, how real is Canelo's power at 175? Eventually, your power will start to diminish. Thanks, OJ. 22, appreciate the show. Thanks for the $10 super chat. I got to get the next time we do a stream for the final press conference, I'm going to make sure I have the super chat alerts on the screen. You know, like, how real is Canelo's power at 168 pounds? You know, and above, 160 and above. Because in reality, depending on how you look at where Kovalev was kind of shot. Callum Smith, he didn't stop him. Avni Yildirim got beat up by Chris Eubank Jr. That's to tell you something right there. Billy Joe Saunders has no business being at 168. Got stopped, you know, but yet this was at 160. And Caleb Plant, well, you know, I don't know. We don't really know about, you know, I haven't seen them. Like, if Canelo was to stop Bivol at 175, then I'm going to be like, all right, yo, that's some power. He got it. He can hang at 175. You know, but right now, you know, we got to see. Like, I think that this is Canelo's toughest fight since Golovkin. And then before that, it was Lindy Lara. But as far as a technician type of fight, Golovkin, he can be a boxer, but I consider Golovkin more of a pressure fighter-ish, like power puncher type of guy. You know, like Golovkin's not really a jabber or a body puncher. You know, and we've seen that Canelo has issues. Like, if he does have issues with some fighters, it's fighters that show movement. Even Amir Khan gave him trouble early, just off of movement and just keeping him away with the jab. Same thing with Sergey Kovalev. Same thing. Let's go look at the rankings. And then we got to talk about Makabu. I did a video earlier questioning if Canelo was on his way to surpassing Floyd Mayweather as far as legacy is concerned. Remember, if Canelo was to become cruiserweight champion, and it's very likely he can at least win one title at cruiserweight, he can end up, you know, well, he'll be a 5-division champion. Floyd was what? 130, 135, 140, 147, 154. Canelo champion started at 154, 160, 168, you know, now, you know, 175. He's already one-time 175 champion after beating Sergey Kovalev. He's going to be a two-time 175-pound champion. And then if he was to go up the cruiserweight, that'll be 5. Berchabiev and Joe Smith, they are fighting. What date is that? I believe it's June. And let me get this crap off the screen. I believe they're fighting June the 8th. Let's leave that up on the screen. Doggone it. I'm messing up. Hold on, give me a minute. Well, anyway, you would think that in a perfect world for Canelo, Canelo would fight Bivol, beat Bivol this weekend, then move on in September to fight Golovkin, close that chapter, boom, probably knock him out. It looks like they're really looking like John Ryder in December, you know, and then May of next year, 2023, undisputed at 175 pounds against the winner of Artur Beterbiev and Joe Smith Jr. And could that possibly be on ESPN? You know, I'm sure Canelo would love to fight on ESPN. You know, would he go over and work with Top Rank for a fight or two? You see what I'm saying? And that's the type of career that Canelo wanted when he got out of that 10-fight, $360+ million deal with DAZN. Of course, Dwyer gonna say Bivol wins. That's some Dwyer for you. But no, I'm not going on the record to say that Bivol would win. But I think that he will. I know that don't make no sense. But yeah, here's the undercard. How do you feel about this? Montana Love versus Gabriel Venezuela. CCP Zhili Zhang. I know he's not CCP. Let me stop joking. I said that like 6 times already. And it's just not sticking. Zhili Zhang, they're looking for a late replacement for him because a fight, the biggest undercard fight I was really interested in was Zhili Zhang versus Filip Hrgovic for the IBF mandatory spot. Hrgovic lost his father, and he's grieving. So, of course, he needs his time to heal. So prayers to him and his family. So they're looking for a late replacement for the Chinaman. Besides that, you see some, some fringe contenders and prospects on the card. But since Canelo's making at least $40 million something, you would have to think that obviously all the money's, at the top of the card. So really, outside of Montana Love and Zhili Zhang, I don't really, these are the type of fights where I'm going to be doing other shit in the background. Nothing's really calling me. And even with Montana Love and Zhili Zhang, those are fights that you can catch highlights on. So in reality, the only fight of real note that actually means something is Bivol versus Canelo. Same thing with Shakur Stevenson's card last week. The only fight that meant something was the main event. You had Nico Ali Walsh and Keyshawn Davis. And that was it. And that's a good place to go now, is to talk about that card to wrap up the video. All right, guys, get up out of here. We already talked about Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano at the beginning of the video, if anyone's interested in that. Now, you know what I'm already sick of? Stop calling this man Floyd Mayweather. He's like Floyd. He's not. Floyd Mayweather, pretty boy Floyd, would have demolished Oscar Valdez. He would have been probably knocked out from a body shot even. Shakur Stevenson is not that. I'm sorry, he's not. He's good, but he's not pretty boy. Now, the question is, who is he going to fight next? By the way, let me pull up this clip here for you. There was some shenanigans at the post-fight press conference for Shakur Stevenson. His mom and some females, nothing's been confirmed. I don't know, but was involved in an altercation at the post-fight press conference. And there was, fisticuffs and punches being thrown and all that shit. He jetted off the stage. Let me see if they still have it up. Let's go check it out. Also, Nico Ali Walsh scored like a big time knockout. Shout out to him. Like, he got my attention now. If you ain't see it, Nico got my attention now. Here, let's go listen to Shakur Stevenson. Because the question is now, it seems as though Bob Beerman, Top Rank, is not interested in him becoming undisputed and unifying the division, citing that no one knows who Kenichi Ogawa IBF and no one knows who Roger Gutierrez WBA World is. So the question is, well, what does he do? Does he vacate his titles? Because he has a mandatory, WBO mandatory, Archie Sharp. So what are they going to do? Try to make him, move up? Maybe him versus Lomachenko on pay-per-view? Would you entertain that? It's looking like they're looking for something significant for him and they're not trying to get him to be undisputed. But let's listen in. Take your time out. Like the video, subscribe.
All right, I'm going to have Shakur say a few words, and then I'll open it up for questions. And James Prince, the manager, congratulations, James.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you to everybody that came out. I told y'all I was a superstar, and I'm going to keep proving it every time.
Shakur, right in front of you, congratulations on a great performance. Did anything surprise you in there? Because, you just seemed so much in charge from beginning to end.
A little bit. He was tough. I knew he was tough. I think he surprised me with his right hand. His right hand is kind of like awkward, and he just shooting it, and he landed it a couple times. But once I took it away, I was good.
He didn't seem to make any adjustments during the fight, right? It seemed like, same thing over and over. Do you think that was because of what you were doing? Like, you didn't give him any other options? Do you think that's why his side seemed to do the same thing repeatedly?
Yeah, most definitely. I ain't giving too many options. I came in there, I took control. I let him know I was here to win, and from there on, he couldn't do nothing.
Is the goal now to get the other two belts, or do you look to go to 35?
I'll probably get the other two belts, but I got to go sit back and talk to my team and see what they think, and then we'll come up with a decision.
And then, JP, one for you. You have managed a lot of great fighters and have been successful. how do you look at this kid, and where does the end game for him? How good can he be when he really realizes all the potential?
I think the sky is the limit where that's concerned. You know, as long as Shakur stay focused, everybody get in front of him gonna have a problem. He just technically sound all the way around.
Shakur,
Hey, guys.
back here, over here.
Hey, where my belts? Where's my belts? Somebody give me a belt. Like, what y'all doing? Oh, shit. Thank you.
Shakur, congratulations.
Where? Oh, okay, I see.
I just want to clarify what you just said. You said, you know, you might.
Hey, can we have some quiet in here? Y'all loud as hell.
You were just saying that you'll go back with your team, obviously, and decide what you're going to do next. Is it possible, though, that you might move up to 135 for your next fight even?
I mean, like I said, I got to sit back and talk to my team and see what my team decide and what I decide, and then I could tell you what I'm going to do. But I was looking forward to being undisputed champion, so that's probably first, but it's depending on what my team think.
Hey, everybody. Can you guys be quiet in here?
I just have one more question.
This is the Shakur Stevenson press conference, not the random people on the side.
Can't stand no trash ass entourage.
Just one
Like,
other thing I have for you.
shut
you
the
seemed like you were really
fuck up.
enjoying yourself in there tonight, particularly when the crowd booed you. You seem to thrive on that a little bit. Can you speak to that?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I feel like I wanted to shut them up. Like, when I was walking out, I kept hearing them scream louder and louder, and I told myself, I'm going to shut them up. And as the fight was going, I just heard crickets. I heard quiet, and it felt good shutting them up, and that's why I told them shh. But at the end of the day, I'm glad that they came out to support. I don't got no bad feelings towards them. I'm glad that they came out, and I appreciate them.
Shakur, to your right, Willie Ramirez with the Associated Press. If we can go into the 6th round, Oscar made a huge gamble with that overhand left, seemingly making a mistake. You took advantage. From there, did you pretty much know when he made that mistake that you were in control the rest of the way?
Nah, I knew I was in control since round 1. When we first came out, I kind of knew he was too slow. I'm the faster, better fighter, and I knew I was going to take control of the fight as the rounds kept going.
Hey, Shakur. Congratulations on a great performance. Like you said, you were in control from the opening bell. My question is, do you think you should be on the pound-for-pound list now after this great performance?
I mean, what you think?
What's happening? What's happening? What's happening there?
And that was that. And that was that. As I'm looking for this clip of what actually happened, basically, I'm trying to find the clip. Shakur Stevenson fight. Yeah, he just ran off. Shit was going down. Hold on. I can't find the clip. Yeah, just some bullshit with some bullshit, you know, entourage shit. My bad, guys. Can't find the clip. And it's like the biggest night of your career. You got to worry about what your team doing. On the same night, he proposed to his girlfriend. You know, the mother of his child. I wonder if they took the clip down. I wonder if they took the clip down. I'm looking for the one on Twitter where he's being like carried away by Timothy Bradley. But yeah, man, the kid, you know, hopefully he stays on the right path because he seemed like he can be a little handful, man. You know, with them young fighters. Funny enough, I talked to Jay Prince about that like years ago. I think it was at Terrence Crawford versus Felix Diaz. I was at that card. And I was asking Jay Prince, interviews on the channel. I was like, you know, this was around the time he had like the allegations going on. and the video's already out. We're seeing, you know, what happened. And I was like, you know, how do you keep like a young fighter? And I was trying to get him to tell me in like a street type of way, you know, but obviously, you know, you can't go that far. But I want him to tell me like basically, how do you keep a knucklehead boxer in check to be like, yo, you got a good career ahead of you. Like, stop doing dumb shit out the ring. You see what I'm saying? That's the way I was trying to put it. I wish I can had time to pull up the video for you, but you can go find it. Yeah, here it is. The alleged brawl. Not alleged, we're looking at it. A whole bunch of nothing punches. And look, you even got a little kid in here throwing punches. These motherfuckers, man. Oh. It's just horrible. Just horrible. Just horrible. Keep them Jersey motherfuckers home. They can't come to fights no more. Keep them home, Shakur. Keep they asses home. I never liked Jersey with those traffic circles. Look, just some bullshit. Just some bullshit. Well, anyway, let's go look at the 130-pound division. And wrap it up there. You're going to have Kenichi Ogawa, IBF champion, taking on number 3 ranked Joe Cordina. That's going to be on June the 4th on DAZN. We don't know what's going on with Hector Garcia, who got that upset win where he beat the shit out of Chris Colbert for 12 rounds. We don't know what's going on with him. And will he fight Roger Gutierrez for that WBA title? Gutierrez is a Golden Boy fighter. He was supposed to fight Colbert. From my understanding, it was COVID, right, that took him out of that fight. And this is going to be updated. Shakur Stevenson, WBC, WBO. His mandatory is Archie Sharp. So if he doesn't unify, he's going to have to fight Archie Sharp or move up in weight. And what's he going to move up in weight to do? Because ain't no titles there at 135. Remember, George Kambosos and Haney have this year wrapped up. You know, and the next in line after Haney Kambosos 2 will likely be Lomachenko. And then the next mandatory is Tank Davis. So right now, he's in a tough spot unless they want to go with him versus Lomachenko for like a glory fight, no belt on the line. Unless, you know, Lomachenko moves down to 130. But right now, you know, even with Robson Consacao, he can't fight him unless Consacao was made a mandatory. But it seems as though Archie Sharp is next. He can't wiggle out of that unless he fights for unification. Shakur versus Gary Russell. Gary Russell moving up. Okay, but I don't think it's going to happen politically because Gary Russell is a PBC fighter. We have a better chance of seeing Gary Russell versus Hector Garcia or something like that. Hearn keeping an IBF belt in-house. He may, but, you know, at the same time, we haven't seen Eddie Hearn get in the way of fights, especially unifications. So, you know, we'll have to wait and see. You know, I'll believe it when I see it. But in the meantime, I got to get up out of here. We're going to be back tomorrow with some videos. Me and Big J are doing Aussie wrap-up. Also, I got a Crawford video coming. Mayweather's undercard and his fight next week. Got a video coming for that. Of course, Charlo Castano 2 is next week as well. You know, so it's busy. Then a week after that, David Benavidez, David Lemieux. Week after that, Rolly Romero and Tank Davis, of course, Tank versus Rolly. You know, that's going to be a fun fight, even though it's a bullshit pay-per-view that shouldn't be on pay-per-view. But you got Iris Lindy Lara taking on Gary Spike O'Sullivan. They're out of control. They're out of control for a pay-per-view like that. Like, they just selling us anything these days. Take your time out. Like the video, subscribe, and T-Street Controversy will fight for you 360. Like the video, subscribe. See you guys later on. Thanks for watching.